The kicker, Brandon Aubrey, is out to get this one started. And we are underway from Ford Field. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. Room to run at the 50. Khalif Raymond. It's a foot race. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown, Lions. And that right there is how you silence the home crowd.
All week long in preparation, visiting teams talk about it. Okay, we've got to start fast. We've got to take the crowd out of it, as you just talked about there. We've got to control the ball early. And in this case, forget fast start. This is a blazing start. What they've talked about all week is their offensive unit doing that. Not necessarily the guys returning the opening kickoff, but believe me, they'll take this.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So how about that for an intriguing start? The opening kickoff of the ball game, return for a touchdown. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. This fielded right at the goal line. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. 2nd and 9 now from the 21. Here's Prescott. A short one there taken in by Ferguson. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
We'll put that one in the win column for the defense. Trying to contain tight ends in the passing game is so difficult nowadays, but they did in a big way there.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Well, on 3rd down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage. They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, force the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely, frees up your guys elsewhere. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
How about the job there on the outside? Shed the wide receiver and was able to make the tackle on the perimeter.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Drops this underneath for Pollard. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. Back deep, Khalif Raymond. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the first overall selection of the 2016 draft. From Cal, it's Jared Goff.
And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl and came really within 1 quarter of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Escapes the defender. Still fighting. A big pickup of 38. What we saw there, that's what we know that he can do. He can break tackles and turn them into big runs, and that's what he did.
And what is the buzz phrase nowadays in football for a guy like that? Contact balance. The ability to go through trash, come out the other side, avoid and run through contact, and keep your balance.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. Here's Goff. Escaping the pressure right. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle. He'll get this down to the 21, just on the edge of the red zone. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any.
And oh, what a catch at the 2. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. That puts him in excellent position, 1st and goal after a gain of 19. Montgomery. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
Good work there, holding him out on 1st down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
Once more, Montgomery. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. David Montgomery. It's a 1-yard touchdown run. Goff looking to throw. And the Lions go up by 2 touchdowns. First quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They're down 15-0 here already, needing to jumpstart this offense. 1st and 10. Oh, Prescott stripped.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
Only a yard on the gain there, and that'll set up 3rd and 13. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And the Lions will have excellent field position here as they take over 1st and 10. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. Gibbs straight ahead. And he's going to get this all the way down to the Cowboys' 6-yard line. 69 yards rushing for him now as he has gotten the night off to a hot start. He had his eyes on the end zone once he hit the secondary, but they're finally able to slow him down.
Yeah, and I've got to look at this one from the defensive point of view. You just mentioned finally able to slow him down. They've got to figure out a way to make that at the point of attack, at the line of scrimmage.
There's Laporta. He's got it. Touchdown, Lions. It's a 6-yard touchdown pass, and the Lions take a 3-touchdown lead. Badgley on for the extra point. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Well, not content with a first quarter lead, I guess. They're going to go onside kick. And the Cowboys are able to recover. So an onside kick fail in the first quarter. Not sure I completely see the logic there.
It's not apparent, is it? You almost have to go deeper, I think, and maybe if we try and work along with them and speculate a little bit here, they must feel like they need to steal possessions in this game, and maybe they don't match up possession for possession with the opposite team. They've got to steal it and try and gain an advantage, and they tried. They just didn't get it done.
Prescott on first down. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Give them 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
Well, these guys certainly need something good to go their way because this first quarter has been something of a disaster for them trying to move the ball. But that completion there maybe can get them focused and moving in the right direction.
They'll go with Pollard here on first down. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Prescott to throw it. Throw right side, taken in by Gallup. So 8 yards on the completion there, and now 2 yards to go on third down.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
3rd and 2. Prescott now. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Cowboys first down as this defense unable to hold. It's a 7-yard gain there on 3rd and 2.
But with the score where it is, you're not thinking field goals right now. You need touchdowns. So that was a much-needed conversion there on 3rd down.
First down, Prescott. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. We hear them discuss red zone efficiency a lot, CD, and they almost gave that one up in the red zone. Luckily, they'll have another shot.
And you and I both know that every offensive coordinator, play caller in the league, they take touchdown.
Michael Gallup on the receiving end from Dak Prescott. And the Cowboys are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. The extra point up and good by Aubrey. And that will cut the lead down to 15. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. Here comes Khalif Raymond from his end zone. And running with power here. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. So for this offense, Charles, remember drive 1 made it to the end zone. Drive 2 resulted in a touchdown as well. Now they'll try to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, and you know, they told us all week that this was the plan and this is what they wanted to execute, but did they really believe it would happen this well, this efficiently? I know they'll take it, and afterwards they'll say, there was never a doubt in our minds we were going to be successful in this one.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there, but how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
Third and 8. They'll go again with Gibbs. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. So they went a little cautious there on 3rd and long.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Remember, they're playing with a lead right now. So getting a first down, yes, that would be great, but even more.
This is intercepted. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered, they'd had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
They run straight ahead here with Pollard. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Jack Campbell running him down behind the line. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now Prescott. Steps away to his left. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Tall task ahead of him here, needing a full 15 yards to move the chains. 3rd and long for Prescott. He'll find Lamb. That's complete. And he'll only get this to about the 35, well short of the line to gain. So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to make it 4th down. They'll turn things over to Brandon Aubrey now for the field goal. It'll be spotted on the right hash. A 52-yard attempt. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And they're hanging around here as the lead's down to 12. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal. And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. That is caught by Laporta. There he goes left side. A big play there for Detroit. 52 yards. Despite writing it down on my notes, I never give enough credit to the offensive line, and we have to here. The protection, that's what made this play a success. Quarterback had to wait for his crossing route to develop, and that takes a little bit of extra time. Excellent job by the big fellas up front. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down. From the 22 now, here's 2nd down and 8. Forced out to his left. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jared Goff, 22 yards, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that will make this a 19-point game. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And a pretty good run there in the end to top it off. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone. And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now, the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out. Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well. 2nd down, Prescott. Over the middle, complete. It's Ferguson. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. On 3rd and 1, here's Prescott. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to convert on 3rd and short yardage with a gain of 4. Pollard will take it up the gut, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
And the defense on him quickly there as they stop him at the 40 for a gain of just 2. The offense on third down tonight, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. That is caught. And he's brought down. He's up over 50 yards receiving now in this first half. It's a first down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Meanwhile, Prescott's throw pulled in by Lamb. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down. Now Prescott. A short one there taken in by Ferguson. His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a first down.
They've looked his way quite a bit, and in my estimation, as well they should.
Well, that's now 5 catches in this first half alone.
And he picks up another first down. He's been an important part of their offense here early.
A short one there taken in by Ferguson. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that will bring up 2nd down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex.
Oh, Prescott stripped, and this is scooped up by the line. And now off to the races down the right side.
I know many talk about the kick return as maybe the most exciting play in football, but any type of a return where it's a change of possession, where the defense gets the ball, that's exciting too, but it's not just an accident. Once they get the football, they've worked on finding people to block, creating running lanes for the guy.
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Lions are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And a rout is on here in this first half. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Last time out, remember, they fumbled the football. That led to the touchdown. And, Charles, they were in the red zone, so that's a backbreaker. They got to try to pick up the pieces here on this drive.
Yeah, and I actually started to do the math here, so be patient with me. 12-point swing is the way I calculated, because not only did they drop the ball in the red zone, they watched the opponent score a touchdown right after that. So their goal, have a drive here and try and get some of those points back.
They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. They're going to hurry back to the line now. And again, it's Prescott. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. Well, Charles, sometimes we talk about the lengths officials sometimes go to protect star quarterbacks, but that was tough to argue against.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone's going to say, hey, we're going to administer the penalty the same way for all quarterbacks. But when it's a star back there...
Oh, Prescott stripped. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. And the defense has come up with it. He already had the 1 fumble loss, so now 2 fumbles lost here in this first half.
Not setting the pace the way that you want it done. I mean, here in the first half, already twice the ball's come out and hit the turf. Got to find a way to take care of it. Otherwise, they may have to start thinking about maybe someone different at that position.
And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number one. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 94 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half. Goff on third down. Oh, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be fourth down.
That might be the third down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
Man open, it's St. Brown. He's got it. Down the sideline he goes. Touchdown, Detroit. Amon-Ra St. Brown as the first half is winding down. And the Lions would extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the rout is on here in this first half. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Options galore here, second and a few inches. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Lions have recovered. And now 3 drives, 3 fumbles.
What's amazing about it is when we go around and watch practices, how many times do we see them put that sleeve over a football now to make it more slippery and hard to handle? It's almost like they're playing with that sleeve on the ball right now.
And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up second. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Lions taking the lead to the break. And sorry, Coach, we'll catch up with you after the game. We're going to skip through halftime here and headed back to the field for the third quarter. It's the Cowboys who get the football first, and they trail here as well as we resume action in the third quarter. And no fireworks to start the half. This will be a touchback. The Cowboy offense set to go to begin this third quarter. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot. Pretty
Oh, Prescott stripped. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. And they'll have great field position here as the ball will be at the 15-yard line. The defense, they were swarming that time and ultimately got to him before he could get rid of the football and knocked it free.
And don't you feel just a little bit of sympathy for him back there, though? So much going on, so much swirling around. He's trying to find someone downfield. He's trying to move around to find an open target. Sometimes you forget the number one thing, take care of the football.
The pickup goes for 13 and sets him up first and goal. Gibbs. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jahmyr Gibbs, his second touchdown of the night. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
On second down, it's Pollard. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
We're just looking at the scoreboard and where we're at in the third quarter. I don't know that it's going to matter much at this point, CD, but these small runs on the ground, they're not going to get it done.
No, they're not. And right now, the guys stopping the run have been superior in this ball game, giving them no openings, no seams, and now they've got this game well in hand. For as many sacks as this defense has, you can understand their willingness to try and get upfield and get another. So what a really smart play call here to use their aggression against them, go with the screen, and they're able to get the first down.
Now a 2nd and 10.
To throw is Prescott. He finds his man complete. That's Ferguson. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 43. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 43. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
A 2nd down throw for Prescott. It's caught left side by Cooks. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Prescott from the gun.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. And they will remain well behind. Detroit's offense ready to take over.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game planned for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
The partner is still in the third quarter, but they've got this one well in hand and still airing it out with gusto and picking up some nice gains.
And even in lopsided games like this, you don't really see starters get lifted or the foot come off the gas before the fourth quarter. No one wants to leave any doubt when they're playing well. They just want to continue the process.
First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. David Montgomery with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Lions have got it on cruise control.
Boy, another score. This lead gets even bigger. And, Charles, we haven't even hit the fourth quarter yet.
Well, forget the deficit, right? They're really not going to cut into that a heck of a lot. But how can they get out of here with some dignity? Can they get a stop or two? Can they make a play on offense themselves? Anything to start to feel better about what's happened to them here in this one.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
Oh, Prescott stripped. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. A disappointing end of the sequence there. He was starting to turn nothing into something, and then he lost the football.
And sometimes things get lost in the transition. And what I mean by that is you go from being a passer to a runner. And at a certain point, once you cross the line of scrimmage, you're strictly a runner now. There's no more downfield threat. Make sure you take care of the football while you're traversing downfield.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30.
Ball at the 26, 2nd and 7. Another run for Gibbs here.
And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19.
119 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs.
And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the plays we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Micah Parsons
in there to get him. It's a loss of 5.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Eluding the pressure right. Unable to corral him. He fights through. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
Oh, man. Just when the D thought they had the answer for him, he went and changed the question. Surprises him by taking off himself. He's able to set up his offense pretty with a 1st and goal.
They'll run with Gibbs.
And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
That's good power football on 1st and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there, but that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
Again, it's Gibbs.
And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal.
And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down. Well, they're going to try this thing. They're at the 5, 4th and goal. They're going to go for it. We'll see. Run, probably pass to both in the arsenal. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Jared Goff, a 5-yard touchdown run.
And the Lions get another 3rd quarter touchdown to add on to that lead.
The defense was almost too good on that play. It took away all of his targets. The one thing they forgot, to account for him as a runner, and he's able to tuck it and go for the end zone and get it done.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field.
It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. The turnover on the last drive, they had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Gonna run again here with Pollard. Dancing away at the 35. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 10 there, good enough for a Cowboy first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Pollard going to try the right side. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And Lamb. Gonna have a Cowboys first down as he'll get this down to the 47-yard line.
Throwing, Prescott.
A short one there, taken in by Ferguson.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Off the play fake, Prescott under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
John Kaminsky.
He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Oh, you can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Prescott. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is, at the 6-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Down the numbers. There he goes.
Now look out.
And all the way down to the 25-yard line. A big hitter there from deep in their own territory. And even 70 yards. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Going back to Gibbs on 1st down.
And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here. Tough spot looking at 2nd and 16 here after the big loss.
From the gun, Gibbs will get it.
Whoa! It still won't go down. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
30 yards.
And the Lions add 6 more to their point total. And they're on cruise control right now here in the 4th. Goff and that Lions offense staying on the field. They'll try for 2.
It's complete. And he got it on the touchdown run, but he won't get in here. He'll be stopped short, and they'll come up empty on the try for 2.
I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit, but going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you I mean, Yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
Dallas offense set for this next drive. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the fourth quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
Able to hit his target, Lamb.
And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 44-yard line. Prescott yet again.
A short one there, taken in by Ferguson.
And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's second down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
A Cowboy first down there, Prescott to Gallup.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. He's letting it fly for Cooks. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked by Emmanuel Mosley. And the Lions will take over here at their own 14-yard line. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go.
On second down, here's Gibbs.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long.
Straight ahead with Gibbs here.
And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24.
232 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. Gibbs straight ahead.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them.
It's caught at the 10. Touchdown, Detroit. Josh Reynolds 67 yards. And the Lions extend their lead yet again.
Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all three phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
A boost here to start the drive. After the penalty, it's 1st and 5. Here's Prescott. He finds his man, complete. It's Lamb. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now. But as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
Another first down as they call his number again. He's got 15 yards here. Looking to throw. Prescott. And that's complete to Cooks. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Well, so far, little to no resistance by the defense on this drive alone. 3 passes, 3 completions, 3 first downs. They're taking it to them, and it's paying off.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. They'll throw again. Prescott.
Here's a screen now for Pollard.
Touchdown, Cowboys. Tony Pollard, 23 yards for the touchdown.
And the Cowboys get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit. Aubrey now for the PAT.
And they make the score a little bit more respectable here in our final quarter of play. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it culminates in a Dallas touchdown.
Taken at the goal line.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 25. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Back to the ground, this time Montgomery. Heck of a move and then brought down near the 23. Jaron Kearse in on the tackle. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, you've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off.
And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6.
2nd and 6. They'll go again with Gibbs.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, this offensive line has really stepped up to the challenge here because those Mastodons, they've been sensational at clearing holes all game long. And this is great work down here near the goal line to give their back the space he needs to work his way into the end zone.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25.
So out come the Cowboys now as their offense gets set to take over.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Prescott now from the 50.
Another one to CeeDee Lamb. He's got it.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds.
Here's a 2nd and 5.
Again, he'll drop to throw.
He finds his man, Pollard.
And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Prescott looks to throw on 1st.
Pollard here once again, back-to-back catches.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. To the air again, Prescott. Got his man there, complete to Gallup. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. And the offense moving quickly to the line. He finds his man, complete. That's Lamb. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal. Here's Prescott. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game. This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him, and after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. Alex Anzalone in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down. It's complete. Swings it out to his running back. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
Aubrey now for the point after.
And they make the score a little bit more respectable here in our final quarter of play. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it's capped off for the Cowboys touchdown. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They'll start this drive out on the ground.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an